It's the weekend. It's Mailbag. It's the first one of 2023. Unfortunately, we couldn't manage to get Farhad Mashiri on, as Dave sort of promised on the weekly this week. He did try, but as people, they weren't having none of it. But thankfully, we have got Dave on. We've also got Laura and we've also got Sam. It's an all-star lineup. I'm just going to kick off the questions now. One from me. Have any of you ever picked an Everton manager? A simple yes or no will do. Sam, have you ever picked an Everton manager?
No,
Ever
not
fired
personally. No, I'd love to.
Yeah. Laura?
No, I'd love to. Yeah, I thought we were all in on Rafa Benitez, weren't we?
Well, yeah, we all picked him. The bed sheet spoke, didn't he?
Yeah.
Dave?
We've got no one else listening to this now after Laura's just said that. So the question is, have you ever picked?
Have you ever picked one, yeah? Or fired one?
I thought you meant the question went the way of, whoever we ended up getting, you predicted that was going to happen.
No, as in actually give him the job.
Give him the job. No. What I would like to know is how much they're actually on. It's one of the things that is pretty much of a taboo subject, isn't it? Is how much managers are actually on. So how much do you reckon Frank Lampard's on?
I don't know. This is what I can't get my head around with football.
Exactly.
It's one of the things, isn't it, where the employees, the sort of
seem to
shop
get more
floor employees, effectively earn more than anyone else in the company.
Well, the Martinez, when he was here, that was always banged about, wasn't it? That he was on ridiculous amounts, and then obviously
he was on a long contract as well, though, wasn't he? So
yeah,
when he got that paid off.
Well, that's the thing. How many that we've sacked off under Mashiri that we've still had to pay, like Koeman, Ancelotti mind you, would Ancelotti still be getting paid money even though he was the one who decided to leave?
No, if you decide to leave, if you even express an interest in leaving, they can.
Allardyce was the one, wasn't he? An 18-month contract, even though he was only getting 6 months' work.
But we had told, far be it from me to defend Allardyce, but we had sort of told him to fuck off a bit earlier. So he came back like, no, you didn't want me for 6 months, so you can fucking pay me for 18.
I would honestly love to be a football manager because I'd purposely be shit at it. I'd get one of them Alan Pardew contracts.
Yeah.
8 years, whatever it is. Be really fucking shite at it. And get myself sacked and earn an easy 10 million, whatever it is, then you'll never see me again.
Just retire on that.
Yeah.
Roberto Martinez.
Why would you want to put yourself through the stress after I've just been sacked, sitting on a hefty wedge? I'm going to be on the beach. I'm not going to go to another club. What, you want me to go now down to Bournemouth and do? And no.
Yeah, you'll never see me ever again.
Literally,
nor hear from me. And I won't be on Twitter. I won't be available via email. Just
out of office on permanently.
Yeah,
off grid.
Do you know the one thing that actually Allardyce did that was decent? The one thing, because I was at that game and I was in the posh seats in Anfield when we got the 1-1 draw. Calvert-Lewin literally fell over. It wasn't a penalty. We won the penalty and Rooney scored it.
But anyway.
Rooney scored it, and I was like, Big Sam was standing at the side, like laughing his head off, looking like this is the exact type of environment that he wants to be in, where it was freezing. No one wanted to play normal football. No one actually wanted to play football. And yet we managed to take a 1-1 draw. I haven't played shite with 10% of possession. And we managed to take a point from. I was like, yeah, I've got a lot of time for you now, Sam.
Do you know what makes me sad about that is that could have actually been quite a good fit. Because he was a proper piss boiler. And had he just played some horrible long ball football, I think a lot of us could have got on board with that.
I just don't think he can.
Evan Shithouse is definitely to go for.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't reckon we'd be as low as we are now if he was the gaffer. I'm going to go as far as saying that. I might not get spoken to by a lot of people anymore for saying that, but I actually do think we'd be in a higher position than we are right now under Frank Lampard.
Dave, it's not fucking hard though, is it?
I don't think
it's a good point. Well, that's exactly why I promoted them,
I'd take mid-table.
Yeah, if you fancied anything higher than 15, then you had no chance with them.
We'll move off Allardyce because we're going down a rabbit hole.
Please do.
None of us want to go down. Just another quick yes or no. Has anyone had anyone kicked off Twitter? Laura?
I'm not. No.
No. Sam?
Wait. I mean, I've reported a lot of racists.
Have you had anyone kicked off though?
No, I've never.
No.
What's the point?
No. Sam?
I've never had the pleasure.
No. Dave?
I'd like to think I have. I think I've taken part in others trying to get somebody kicked off. But I couldn't confidently say that it was me that caused this. Maybe me that caused it, talking it to them, and Dave pissed off. I think I might have caused a bit of that, but I don't think I've actively, like Laura says, applied, and then they've no longer been there. As there are many, as we all know right now, there are many we wish we could do that with these days.
Yeah. And if he was on Twitter, I'm sure one of those fellas would be Farhad Moshiri. Or just Farhad.
Where's you were biting your teeth then when I said that?
As he likes to be called. Yeah, well.
What was that about Farhad Moshiri? Sorry.
If he was on Twitter, we'd want to get him kicked off, wouldn't we?
No, I think it would be unbelievable to see what he'd have to say. Get him on one of those spaces. Lad, listen, lad, hey, lad, listen.
Lad, Farhad, lad. Oh God, that's completely thrown me now. Yeah, that would be quite cool, actually. Wasn't his niece or something on Twitter?
Oh, yeah,
and she had
who
to
was
leave,
that?
didn't she?
Yeah, who was that?
The
That was years ago now, wasn't it? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Anyway, on the subject of our esteemed owner, Jilly Carter's asked, quite a serious one to kick off. Neil Warnock said on the Football Ramble podcast that Everton should be dogs of war. Do you agree with that strategy? That's part one. And is she the only one who thinks that the only way we progress is Moshiri, aka as Farhad in that dumb letter, sells up and ships out? So do we need to get back to dogs of war? I'd be all over that.
Yeah, shit houses are us.
Have we got the stamina?
Probably not.
We're quite a delicate bunch of flowers at the minute, aren't we?
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I'd love it, but I just don't think we've got the grit and the bulk.
Are we talking like with this current crop of players, or are we talking about like just Everton as a whole? Because forget the current sort of crop of players, they probably aren't dogs of war mentality, but Everton, that as a whole is what they should be, but they aren't.
Yeah, I suppose the dogs of war thing, it was more than just Parkinson, Ebrel and Barry Orme, wasn't it? It was the whole thing around the club. It was the way Joe Royle had to play. And this is what we're talking to, just to go back to Allardyce before. This is what I thought we were going to get with Allardyce. I thought he was going to sort of make us that kind of team again, but it was just complete non-football. They just didn't actually do anything. It was dead weird. But yeah, I think the dogs of war thing, it was more than just the players in the midfield. It was the team. It was the way the manager instilled a way to play in him, and it was the way the crowd reacted as well.
The fans, I think the fans are still up for that though, because as soon as like a meaty tackle goes in, we're all over.
Oh yeah.
Lord knows I love a James Tarkowski tackle. So
that's so true.
In more ways than one.
A decent Ben Godfrey as well.
Yeah, we're into a Ben Godfrey tackle as well, aren't we? Yeah.
You've just done this sort of middle distance stare while you said that then.
I'm also a really big fan of James Tarkowski's sort of uncomplicated grin. Like the grin of an uncomplicated man.
Who smells of warm bread.
Yeah.
Big fan.
Do you know the only thing I will say about Tarkowski? He needs to up his moustache game. Because his top lip hair doesn't seem to go, unless he cuts it back. It doesn't grow as much as like his.
I quite like the beard. Hair. I quite like the beard thing he has got going on. I think it suits him.
I think his moustache needs to go a bit more though.
So people just can't rock it like you, Les.
Well, this is it, you know.
Yeah.
So that was basically where I was going with that. Okay, yeah. So it's a yes for the dogs of war. And is the only way we progress basically if Moshiri legs it. I kind of think it is at the minute because we're completely hamstrung with regards to spending, because I think even if he had the appetite to put money in, I'm not sure he could. I think Chelsea got round all that because they got a new owner, didn't they? And then they kind of reset. I think even though it's all stacked in their favour because of FFP, I think it kind of reset maybe because they got a new owner, so they can just spend as much as they want. I think we probably need that as well.
Yeah. Did they spend like, what is it, since the summer, like 380 million I read the other day? How does that make sense? I don't get any of it, but I think like Moshiri selling up probably would be a good thing. When he bought Everton. I was at uni, and my flatmate, an Arsenal fan, had warned me profusely, like, this man is not good for Everton, because I was like, we're rich, and he was like, no, this is not a good thing for you guys. Like, and now I'm sitting here like, well, thanks, Ross. You did warn me.
It does stink a bit of Randy Lerner at Villa, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, there's so much incompetence in this man, as you can tell from the podcast that we've done, or the podcast we've done all week about letters and him chatting shit to one of the worst broadcasters there's ever been in Jim White. I don't know. I mean, how long have you got to talk about? Because the thing is, if he gets rid, and he's going to get rid in his terms, what sort of fucking nutcases that are out there that is going to want to give him money, and for Moshiri to think, you know what, that's the guy that Everton need, or that's the lady that Everton needs right now. I couldn't trust him to do that in a sensible way. I couldn't afford. I couldn't sit there and be, you know what, this fella's going to put us into the hands of somebody else who's going to be really good for us. And the thing that gets me about it all, and I know we've done, like I said, we've done like hour and a half long podcasts on Farhad Moshiri in the last few days. The real simple thing I look at with him is, I actually think he's thick. He's either thick or he doesn't give a shit.
He doesn't give a shit. That's
yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I've gone from one to the other with that. I've gone, one way or the other with it. And the thing where I think he's actually thick is that he banged on about, we listened to the fans with the sackings we've got from managers. Yes, he was the guy who employed he's the guy who employed Benitez. So he's clearly not listening to fans. It's really thick to say that. But then the lack of intelligence that he's got in, there's not the tiniest bit of what he's done there. There's not even the slight. Is there anything he's done for our football club in the last 7 years that you would say is decent, or he's done well, or you would support him for? Is there anything?
Sam, were you going to say something?
No, I was just going to say he's clearly got a business head in some regards, but it doesn't make you a good. It doesn't make you a good football club chairman. I mean, you shouldn't be guided by the fans. Like, you should be guided by...
No, not our fans, especially.
Not us.
Exactly. Sam, you've hit the nail on the head there. You've absolutely hit the nail on the head in that. How many people are there in football that have done good things at clubs? Yes, I would say there aren't many, but they are out there. People, businessmen, director of football is the main thing, isn't it? That's wrecked all of our heads with brands, and then Steve Walsh at the start. How difficult is it for a man who's got business sense, like you said, to go and get somebody who can do the job that he's done, even in a slightly better way? That's why I think he's thick.
I think that was a bit of a dig at everyone for wanting Lampard. To be honest, I think he's digging his heels in here. Pereira was his man, and he would have been an absolute disaster. We'd be down already with him, because he's just a cowboy in. But I think that's a dig at the fans to say, well, look, you got your man, and he's saying, and I'm sticking with him. I think he's digging his heels in there with that.
But we didn't want Lampard. We just didn't want
the shit.
What's his face? Yeah.
Yeah. It would have been nice to have another option, maybe, not just those two.
Yeah. Well, this is Everton. There's no plan B. But can we actually have some nonsense and not Everton nonsense?
Yes. Yeah. Well, next up, Maggie. It's on a similar theme.
Oh, well, there you go. Then Maggie is nonsense.
Maybe that could be the title. She'd love that, wouldn't she? Was Moshiri listening to Eye of the Tiger? Yes, I think he was.
I wasn't listening to. I didn't listen to it. So
yeah, I'm sure he was. And what is the most inappropriate Everton-related song you can think of? And sing it for Mailbag karaoke.
No,
you don't have to do that if you want to do Mailbag karaoke and sing an inappropriate Everton song. Now you can. Or the most inappropriate Everton-related song. Anyone got any ideas for that?
Yeah, that one by Michael Bolton. Do you remember it? It was on. It was on Saved by the Bell. They played that as the final song when they were in the party at the end of it. You must know this song. It starts with
Go on then, Dave. Sing it.
I could hardly believe it when I heard the news today. That one. You know what I'm on about now, don't you?
Maggie,
I really hope so.
Keep going.
So, is it when Zach and Kelly break up?
That's it, yeah. That
All
one.
right.
I thought they got married. Someone told me they got married.
Yeah, it was a classic one where they just brought like episodes about 20 years later, didn't he? And just did like a one-off that always happens to good shows from back in the 80s. I used to love Saved by the Bell. So good, wasn't it? But yeah, that song by Michael Bolton.
Sorry, that's not fine, isn't it?
I could hardly believe it when I heard the news today.
Yeah, that.
I had to come and get it straight from you. I'm not doing any more.
No, Dave, I like the husk in your voice there. It was nice.
Oh, mate, my voice is Machery's fault this week, so I'll happily sit here all night singing all sorts of nonsense for you.
I tell you what I can do here, right? Look at me, I'm like I'm on a work meeting now. If I just share my screen, right, so if I do just
got the lyrics?
Screen, hopefully you should be able to see that, and maybe it will even come out on the podcast. Can you hear it?
No.
Oh, bloody hell! Hold on.
This is a bad effort to get me to sing more of this, Les. How am I supposed to live without you? That's it. I can't believe you've got AC Slater singing it rather than Michael Bolton himself.
Well,
did any of the actors work again?
There you go.
Apart from Jesse, did any of the actors work again?
Yeah, the one. What's her name?
Oh,
Zach's girl. What was her name?
Tiffany Amber Thiessen.
Yeah, I think she's in. She played a character in Scream.
Oh, did she?
Scream films, I think. But yeah, you're right. AC Slater got on a few things, and I'm almost certain that he did like, sort of real life type of things with other people. He did something on MTV.
Oh, right.
But I liked AC Slater because he was like the sort of cock of the school, wasn't he? When that used to be on. Massive arms on him. He just walk around in a vest.
Imagine being in a British school and someone's walking around in a vest. I don't care how big they are; they just get leathered, wouldn't they?
No, hang on. Tell me that this song is not Everton related. When it starts with what I sung, I could hardly believe it. When I heard the news today, I had to come and get it straight from you. So, i.e., when we all find out that he's a dickhead, they said you were leaving. Someone swept your heart away. That's when Rooney left. I don't know. From the look upon your face, I see it's true. Well, yeah, you see him talking to Jim White. So tell me all about it. Tell me about the plans you're making. Oh, then tell me one thing more before I go. Tell me, how am I supposed to live without you? This is built for us.
That's where it falls down, because we all saw how we could live without them during the World Cup, and it was quite nice. Sam, have you got an inappropriate Everton-related song?
Oh, well, I wouldn't. I was thinking about this, and I'm worried I've gone for a highly appropriate one. I've got the Shane McGowan dance remix of "Don't Let the Bastards Grind You Down." It's all. I just think fundamentally, it's a principle we need to draw to our hearts.
But does it not make you think that, like, I can guarantee every single playlist each of us got is an Everton feeling amongst it, as in songs that you listen to that are really sad or emotional. There's Everton relation to them, I think. Because I listen to a lot of. I mean, I'm not picturing a big, a nice picture of myself here, but I love listening to Celine Dion. I love ballads. Absolutely love them.
Hey, you do come out with some confessions on this show, you know.
Oh, I know. But I remember. Well, I was going to say, ask Matt Jones or anyone else. You should know this, Les, on the aways that we've been to. Some of the shit that I put out on my car.
Yeah, I'm usually asleep at this point, I think.
That's true. On the 9-hour trips.
Laura, have you got one?
Was it appropriate song? Because I'm going with "I Predict a Riot," the Kaiser Chiefs.
Nice.
Yeah, digging that. That'll do for me. Liam's asked, who play Mashiri, Kenwright and Snods? We'll throw Diamond in there as well for Sam. In Everton, the panto, or the characters or castings, welcome.
This requires far too much thinking.
Should we come back to this one, or has anyone got the answers?
I think Christopher Biggins is a shoe-in for Kenwright.
Oh God, that's a belter of a shout.
That's a good shout.
And I've got Snods Pasquale. I just think bit light relief. Mashiri probably Craig Greville Horwood. Is he a baddie in panto? He's the only one I could think of.
Biggins is a great shout.
There's a real, and I think you'd have to play him for laughs. So you'd need a Biggins to do him.
Maybe Pasquale could be Graham Stewart and Billy Butler as Snods.
Nice.
Something like that. Maybe. If it's a local panto, because God knows Mashiri loves local things. You've got our Billy Butler in there, really.
Lovely.
Or maybe someone from Hollyoaks or Brookie.
Jimmy Corkill's got to be someone, mate.
Jimmy Corkill could just come as himself.
Yeah. Barry Grant.
Any mention of Barry Grant always just leads me back to Dear Mr. Hicks. Where he was good. Very Barry Grant-esque on a boat in the Mediterranean, proper Marbella Mike stuff. And he just shouts, "Give us our club back." Brilliant.
I was just thinking that. I was going to say, I was just thinking that what sort of characters you want them to play. I was just thinking the seven dwarfs, like the 7 individuals you could pick to play the 7 dwarfs, couldn't you?
Mope, Gordon.
Not just players, but I'm on about like. I feel bad saying this because I've worked with half of them for over a decade for one time. But Snods, I haven't heard from years. Graham Stewart, I haven't heard from years. Sharpie's actually, again, I'm absolutely destroying myself here. Sharpie's actually been a really nice guy to me ever since I've known him for about 15 years. But yeah, he's part of the board, so he can be slated, I suppose. But yeah, there are more than enough. Les, you're going to have to delete half of this, you know, mate. But there's a lot of people who work at the club, let's just say, you could play the 7 dwarfs.
For a while, the fan zone was very local theatre, wasn't it? When you would have like Graham Stewart and Snods and stuff, you would have just loads of sort of former players who've somehow got an undetermined job role at the club. Just kind of milling about.
Yeah,
well, that was it. Jobs for the boys was always the thing, wasn't it? People banged on about a lot.
Well, that leads me on to the next question from Michael Potter. You get to pick one job for the boys. This is seamless stuff, this. You get to pick one job for the boys for our 28 trophyless years. Hinchcliffe on the exec board, Weir and Cahill, directors of football, Arteta manager. Actually, those last 2 might work all right, to be honest.
Say that would
Delaney's contract, Dave. Royston Drenther is the under-12 academy coach. Tony Thomas is the kitman's apprentice. Laura, I'll come to you on this one.
Royston Drenthe, definitely not as the under-12s manager, Jesus Christ.
No.
I don't really fully understand the question. So we're picking a past player to take a job.
Just take on some general role.
Oh, God.
I mean, Davey Weir as director of football and Arteta as manager would actually be a very good shot.
Yeah, but he's an actual director of football, isn't he? David
Exactly,
Weir.
that's what I mean. And Arteta's actually quite a good manager. So
yeah. No, you can't choose one that already does a similar job somewhere else.
No.
You're killing it off there.
John Paul Kissock as team hairdresser.
That's nice, yeah.
Oh my God. The possibilities are endless. Royston Drenthe as entertainment manager.
Oh my God, yes.
Oh,
Definitely.
You see, I've got one to go with that because I had Andy van der Merwe as motivational coach.
Oh.
So those two is like a duo. I think that would work beautifully.
Oh my God, can you imagine them?
So Johnny Heisinger in as like a little trio as well. I think that little dynamic would be excellent.
Oh my God, Heisinger, when that derby that we won, and I was streaming it, and I don't know where it was being broadcast from, but he was like a pundit, and he was in like a black turtleneck. And they came back to him at full time and he'd put his Everton jersey on. It was adorable. It was just like the sweetest thing. He was just
That's
beaming. Bless him.
Yeah, I don't think we can go any further than that as those entertainment managers there. Van der Merwe, and then you can sort of have Johnny Heitinger as sort of security for it because he fancied himself.
I was more thinking of Heitinger as the main officer on Shawshank, Hadley.
Oh, that's harsh.
But he gets arrested at the end of he gets arrested at the end of it, doesn't he?
That's true.
All three of them will get arrested in no time.
Yeah.
Peter Mack, one for you, Dave. Where are you getting your tattoo? And will it be live streamed?
He mentioned this to me. What did I actually say it was again?
You did say you were going to get a tattoo of "This must never happen again" or something. So
yeah,
I mean,
this must never happen
anyone
again.
guess where you're going to get that?
Well, yeah, exactly. I don't want me missus to hear this, but I'd actually have it somewhere that I can constantly see it. Because you get like people get tattoos in places where they have to sort of like, up the side of the shirt or something like that because it's on the where the biceps are and all that.
Yeah.
But I'd like to get it somewhere where everybody else saw. I'd get it on my fod. Happily get it on my fod. Big capital letters.
This must never happen again.
Yeah, and I'll just go and start whacking my head on gutters.
I remember seeing a picture of a footballer once, and he had a picture of I think it was his mum, tattooed on the inside of his arm. Right. Now I'm thinking, if you're like with someone.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
no.
Come on.
That would kill the mood straight away. God. Who's that?
Bad idea, that is.
That woman on your arm? That's my mother.
I hope it was on his non-dominant hand.
Oh God. That's one way to cause erectile dysfunction.
Oh God. Anyway, Stuart, I mean, oh God, this seems weirdly fitting now. What's the worst ever condiment, and why is it salad cream?
See, we're all going to disagree, though, aren't we?
You are, but you're all wrong. It's like vinegar with mayonnaise or something. That's horrible.
No. Don't slate salad cream.
Just did.
It's like sweet, but we put it on savoury food.
Yeah,
it's like
salad cream is not.
It's amazing. No, I like it. This is defensive. It's like coronation chicken. Like that's obviously a sweet dish, but we eat it like it's not. Yeah, exactly. I think the British are brilliant at that. Just taking a kind of taking the semblance of a decent meal and just putting like hundreds and thousands on top. we just like really sweet food. I'm into it. It's bold.
Well, there are things that I would always have salad cream on. So say, for instance, you can get them McCain little mini pizzas that you can put in the microwave. And obviously it's pepperoni pizza with cheese and it's got the tomato sauce on the bottom of it. I would blather that with salad cream because it's stunning. The taste of it. I love it on prawns. I love it on roast potatoes.
Trying
to think of what?
Does anyone actually put it on salad?
That's what I've never put it on salad, to be fair.
Oh no, I always used to have it on salad actually.
Salad and pasta. I'm not going as far as Dave, who is obviously a heathen, putting it on like roast and pizzas. Like,
yeah, a salad cream extremist.
Salad cream to Dave is what gravy is to Allardyce.
We look like each other as well.
Pint of salad cream, please, Barkeep.
No, the best is right. So, like, say I might do it tonight because it's a Friday night. Say you get like pizza and chips from whatever the chippy is by yours, or you get a kebab or whatever. I would put it on any of those things, but a lot of it too.
No,
like the best I've had lately is having garlic cheese. On a pizza, anything like that, but with salad cream on top of it. The taste is phenomenal. No having it, no one having it.
I don't like salad cream, so it's not going to work for me.
Have you even tried it though?
I have. I don't like it.
If you tried a significant amount of it, if you tried far too much of it,
I am sitting here having a pint of it right now. We're putting a poll out about this, Les. When you put this out, we will put a poll out on this on the Blue Room and see what people say.
I think you'll lose. I think you'll find quite a lot of people don't like salad cream.
What percentage are you saying?
Can bread sauce go in there? Because we had that the other week, didn't we?
What's that? What's bread sauce?
I love bread sauce.
No.
That's the best bit of Christmas dinner for me.
Oh no.
I don't know what it is.
Hang on, Laura's
It's
slating us
literally,
all here. What's Laura's favourite
literally
sauce?
bread sauce.
Yeah, bread and sauce.
What is my favourite sauce?
Yeah.
What, you're just opening me up for abuse, Dave, and I don't like it.
No, I like
Oh
a lot
no,
of
go
sauce.
on. I'm intrigued.
Probably ketchup, like if we're talking like an actual like all round just sauce. But like
You put it on any
red sauce.
I wouldn't have like
hate.
There's certain, the thing is you couldn't pick a favourite because there's certain things for certain
things.
dishes. So you can't be like, well, my all-time favourite is like ketchup because I have it with absolutely everything. So I'm not a fucking wrong'un who's gonna have ketchup on my roast dinner.
My sister has mint sauce on her turkey roast dinner, on a Christmas dinner.
I've done
Does
that.
anyone have mint jelly?
Oh no.
Yeah.
Mint jelly is like, it's like really sweet.
Oh,
it is lovely. It's like
horrific.
it's like cranberry.
Sounds
You know, you can get cranberry jelly. It's like that.
I love cranberry sauce, but I don't want
in a jelly
Yeah,
sauce.
I prefer the sauce to the jelly.
Yeah, I like apple sauce on my roast.
You don't mind
that's
that
nice.
sauce.
I'm a recent convert to brown sauce. It's amazing.
No, we've had this conversation, haven't we? No, I'm just not. I can't. I know Keith proper goes at me all the time for the whole red sauce, brown sauce debate with breakfast, but I can't. It has to be red. Like
It took me about 42 years to come round to it. So there you go.
I like
Would you have it on anything that's not breakfast? Because I couldn't imagine
No.
having HP sauce on something in the afternoon.
Nah. I mean, if I have a bacon butty or something in the afternoon or sausage butty.
Yeah, but you wouldn't like use that sauce. I agree with what, well, pretty much all of you said in terms of it depends what you're putting a certain sauce on. HP sauce is really, really particular in my mind.
yeah, I think it's got its limited uses, hasn't it?
It's not an all-round like tomato sauce.
Basically,
Proper vinegar that.
useless and it should just be binned.
The worst one, hang on, before you move on, Les, because I know you're ready with another question.
I am.
What gets me is I couldn't do it and I'm including tomato sauce, brown sauce. Don't ever come near me with daddy's sauce.
Oh no, vile.
And I'm not saying that in a perverted way. I mean the actual brand. Daddy's.
The to me was just
Grim.
crying there. So no daddy's sauce.
Go on, daddy.
One-time Twitter user at LauraAJ96 asked, do you have any other hobbies and interests away from Everton or football? And do they help you feel less insane? So, Laura, I'll come to you first on this. Do you?
Yeah. I'm a woman that likes to do many other things outside of Everton. Otherwise, I would be more insane than I currently am. I actually recently started getting into a bit of painting and art.
Okay.
Obviously, like you guys know, I suffer with anxiety and stuff, and I've sort of been under a lot of stress with work lately, and I was just like, I'm just going to buy a canvas and I'm just going to do shit with it. And I've been doing a few bits and pieces of artwork, and then, found it fun, found it a good way to relieve some stress.
That is so damn wholesome.
Yeah,
so I'm really here for it.
I'm just recommending that all Evertonians basically just get a canvas and then just throw paint around really angrily and release some of this pent-up anger they've got going on, because Twitter's an absolute cesspit at the minute.
Yeah, but the problem you've got with it there, Laura, is everyone gets their artwork, and all it'll ever say is sack the board.
Yeah, they can't move away from bed sheets, unfortunately. That's their preferred medium.
Sam, have you got any other hobbies that keep you sane?
Just generally being just generally living an enjoyable life. But I've taken to watching sport on a treadmill because that makes it feel less intense. It sort of works the anger out a bit. Like I probably mentioned this on here before, but I watched the Ben Stokes innings at Headingley on a treadmill, and just towards the end, apparently I was getting quite emotional, and somebody who worked there asked if I needed an ambulance. But you don't realise because you sort of plugged into it. But I've taken to it it works out some of the more difficult edges.
Yeah,
That's
I
a good
couldn't.
shout.
I couldn't do that because I'd be like kicking every ball, and like, people would definitely come up to me in the gym and be like, "Yeah, you've got something mentally wrong with you."
I just have to get to the point where I'm too tired to do that.
But
you know what? You
no.
just at maximum exertion.
Dave?
Yeah, I mean, the obvious thing, most people who've listened to me for a while on this would know how much I love golf. But this time of year, it's just a dreadful sport to play. It's so annoying because it's just, I mean, how much rain we've had recently as well. It's so hard to play it and enjoy it. One of the things I used to like when I was a little bit younger was snooker. I loved to play snooker. And now, since I was diagnosed with epilepsy a couple of months ago, I've started playing snooker again. Only because one of the first things I thought of was being in a dark room, in a dark place. Just, you're able to just focus on something else out your mind where you're very unlikely to have a seizure. I mean, I've had the seizure in some really random places since I was diagnosed with it. But going to play snooker, like I go with whoever, just go for a game of snooker. And it's really, really calming. Regardless of how good you play. I mean, that's why it's different to golf because I got to be quite good at golf. But when you played shit at golf, it annoyed you just as much as it did watching Everton get beat. But snooker, because I have no ambition whatsoever in being a really good snooker player. And I'm all right at it if you play it quite a lot. It's like anything, really. If you do it often enough, then you will become decent at it at some sort of level. But yeah, snooker's been the more calming thing for me. Having said that, there are screens around it like there are in most boozers and stuff and snooker places where the sport gets put on it. So I try to keep away from whatever I can see on the telly that's sport. And also, the way Sam said that about watching the sport whilst he was exercising, do you guys not find that with most sports that even the ones you don't care about even in the slightest, you end up like having a favourite side of it in some sort of way?
You can always find an angle, otherwise what's the point watching it?
It's
like I've watched stuff where you're like, he looks like a bell end, I'm going to like the other fella. And you do it subliminally as well. I think it's really, really strange.
Yeah, I've done it with like marble racing on TikTok or Facebook videos.
Marble racing, come on.
I'll pick like a marble and it's usually like a red one and I'm like, you're a tosser. And if it wins, if that specific marble wins, I will be pissed off.
Yeah.
Do you know the other one I was going to say? Curling. How good is curling?
Oh, it's so good to watch. Oh, so
I'd love to play it.
I'd like to have a go with that.
How do you know you get good at the brushing part of that though?
I know, that's a good point.
Yeah, how do you get into curling?
I've asked people this before, and apparently it's big in Scotland. And so if you live near like an ice rink, you just do it. That's
what? So basically, is that how it came about? They used to brush the ice rink, like to clean it, and then
yeah.
I'm quite good at this,
It can only be. But yeah, apparently, like in Scotland, that is something you do. They have ice rinks, and it is something you do.
Someone get Keith on the phone right now.
Find out. Someone who's got loads of other hobbies. He likes painting. It's Dan. And he's asked, is it time for us to just walk away, start watching full contact crochet or extreme welding? He hasn't smoked in years, but Everton is making him want to rub old Holborn into his eyes. Could we walk away?
No.
No one's going to walk away.
Don't you? When people say just get a new hobby and it's like, it isn't that easy.
No. When I say my hobby question, right, it doesn't mean walk away from Everton. It's just like, these people that are so intense on Twitter that it's like first thing in the morning, they wake up and it's Everton this, Everton that, all day, every day.
It must be exhausting.
Go outside and touch some grass, go into nature, breathe some air, and then forget about it for a little bit. Because if you don't, you're just going to fall apart completely.
Yeah, there's studies that say it doesn't matter who you support, even that it makes your life worse. Like
there's no way
being a football fan makes your life worse.
No, there's no way.
Statistically, that's just a reality. We have to accept it and not get too stressed about that.
Yeah, well, you kind of look at it and you look at what probably 98% of football fans don't see any success.
No.
not many.
Yeah, I've like you just said there, Les, quite deeply thought about this quite a lot. There's no end goal of supporting a football team. So say, for instance, we went and finally won the Premier League in our lifetime. Because it continues to the season after it, there's only so much time you can celebrate it, and then something shit will happen and you'll not like it.
Yeah, it's Sisyphus, isn't it? We're just pushing a rock up a hill.
No, that's exactly right.
But we're not getting very far up the hill.
Yeah. We're going back down it if you're Evertonian.
Is the answer then just to stay shit? Is that what it is? And just accept that?
But then,
would you take if I said to you, and we're going down a ridiculous hill here, but if I was to say to any of you, Everton are going to win the Premier League in 10 years' time, but when Everton win that Premier League, you can't support them again, you cannot like football, and you cannot go to it, would you take that?
It's like a cash out, I might do, you know.
Yeah. Hover over it for a little bit, debate it for a while.
But could you survive without it, I guess is what I'm saying, after winning something?
Yeah, I could survive. I think I could.
Look at you questioning yourself now.
If I'd put up with this amount of shit for this long and then we finally get good and I can't support them.
Until COVID, though, I didn't realise.
Yeah. I mean, but Everton still exist after that, and you just can't.
You can't do anything to do with them. You can't find out results.
So they could go on and win, like they could dominate world football for.
But you'd never know. Never know.
Yeah. Can we watch other football?
No, because Everton would be related somehow.
But I didn't realise till COVID how dependent I was on it emotionally.
Yeah.
I was just drumming my fingers for months on end. It was really odd.
Well, it does form like most of my social life, really, which is quite sad. Basically, need more friends.
We're all in the same boat. We're all friends here.
Yeah, that's the one thing you can take from it. I know it's a really cheesy thing to say. Certainly since when I went and started the Blue Room, nearly 11 years ago now, I didn't imagine that I'd have the level of friends that I have, like you guys and everybody else who does stuff with us. That's been the wholesome thing. You mentioned about wholesome stuff. That's the wholesome thing that I've taken from Everton. So I guess in a really strange way, as much as I hate that football club to the nth degree in regards to how it's run and all the machinery stuff and all that crap you've spoken about, it's actually those nicer things that sort of sticks me with it a little bit. It's like people who do the lottery, where you do the lottery every single Wednesday and Saturday night or whatever, or the Irish if you're going to bookmakers. You lose every single week. You've never won it. You've never won the lottery to become a millionaire. But there's something that will not stop you from doing it. And
Everton's the equivalent of knowing your numbers.
Exactly right, yeah. Exactly. Tell you what, we've done a lot of psychology in this one, haven't we?
Yeah, but I feel like if someone out there who's doing like in their third year of uni or whatever, not doing a dissertation on like social media and Everton at the moment, they are missing a trick, because that would be an unbelievable thing to just look at. Like the possibilities are endless. It genuinely makes me want to sit down and do one myself.
Enough material for an entire conference.
Oh my god, yeah.
You could probably do a whole degree on it all, to be honest.
Yeah, thesis.
Unreal.
We'll move on to the Southampton game now. Dale's has asked, what gives you the ick? The ick. That saying the ick gives me the ick, to be fair. And why are all of your answers Nathan Jones? Bit of a strange cat, Nathan Jones, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
I don't even want to talk about him, because whatever we say is going to now come back and bite us on our arse in about 24 hours time.
They're beating us. There's no doubt about
that. Oh, I know that. I've
got 20 quid on it.
He's done the rounds, hasn't he, that fella? He's done the rounds. He was at Stoke, he was at Luton. I've no idea why Southampton got him, but then the other day they go and batter Man City to reach the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup. This is the time that I'm really worried about,
Yeah.
Do you know what? If he walked past me in the street, I would not know who he is.
No.
do you know what? I'd probably say that about quite a few managers in the Premier League now.
Yeah, but
especially at the minute now.
Yeah,
like
at the minute,
there's been a
random
sudden influx. Yeah.
Oh, did you see the rig out on the Wolves manager where he had that like beige roll neck on?
Yeah. Oh.
Jesus. Who was that against? Because the other manager had one on as well.
If you're walking past that Nathan Jones, he'd be telling you that the earth was flat. He's definitely one of them.
Oh God.
It was Wolves against Man United, and Ten Hag had a burgundy roll neck on.
Doesn't he wear quite a lot of roll necks, that Ten Hag?
Yeah.
He wears that.
No, he does. If I picture him in my head, he's wearing a roll neck.
Like a black roll neck. It comes up in my mind. Yeah,
definitely. JK's asked if you could bring back one Everton player you've seen live in your lifetime to score the winner on Saturday. Who would it be?
Tony Hibbert.
Nice.
Sam?
Well, at first I went Kanchelskis, and then I decided I'd prefer Umanias.
Yes.
See, that once again, in a nutshell, Sam, is those things we do to torture ourselves.
Do you know what though? Umanias scoring those goals against Bournemouth, they are one of the happiest I've been celebrating the goal. It was just
wasn't real, was it?
It is so bleak, isn't it, lads? Jesus.
Yeah. It was just so funny though, just the whole backstory to it and everything was just brilliant.
Yeah.
It was perfectly set up.
I think mine would be James Beattie.
Nice.
The absolutely bladder one in against Southampton would be lovely.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
That's what he did in his debut, isn't it?
I used to fancy him.
Was it Southampton? He was a good looking fella.
We drew 2-2 against Southampton. He was getting booed by them all. And after like 3 or 4 minutes, he scored. Half volley in off the bar. That was his first game, I think.
God, I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, I mean, but in response to your answer, like Sam referred to him, it will be Kanchelskis. I think he made me fall in love with us properly though. And you think about signing a player like him when we were that shit at the time in '95.
Mm-hmm.
How we managed to do that is quite crazy when you look at it. And I know Joe was good friends with Alex Ferguson, so maybe that had something to do with it. And we went and got him for $5 million. And if you read his book, me and Matt, it was one of the best days of my life. Me and Matt were interviewing him in the tower for a couple of hours. That was absolutely amazing. Even though his English isn't great, even now, because obviously he's back home and stuff. But just hearing him talk about the club and like why he chose us instead of going to Borough, I think he was really close to signing to Middlesbrough, and told because it looked relevant to him because Brian Robson was their manager.
Yeah.
And then he ended up with us, and he had a really poor injury to start. He missed the first season.
It's Roy Keane, wasn't it? Roy Keane stuck one on him. I remember it.
That was really. It was either first day of the season or like really early on in August. That happened to him, and I thought, oh no, how have we spent like £5 million because that was a huge amount back then? How have we spent? First of all, how did Kenwright get £5 million or Johnson, whoever it was?
But the thing is, it took ages to sign him as well, didn't it?
It did.
We missed the cut-off for the Cup Winners' Cup. For that, so we didn't play against Feyenoord and we got knocked out. But yeah, it was one of those signings that seemed to go on and on for ages, and he was so desperate for it to happen, and it looked like it wasn't going to.
I've seen things from him. People talk about Messi and all that, and I know you proper start like going far too into how much you love a footballer. But I remember when we first got him, this fella couldn't do anything wrong. I remember we played Sheffield Wednesday at home. We went 2-0 down. Mark Bright scored them both. In the second half, Kanchelskis ripped them apart, scored to himself, hit the post. He should have scored a hat-trick as well. The stuff he could do. When we one of my best ever games to watch was when we beat them, Liverpool 2-1 away from home. And Kanchelskis scored a header when Rideout.
That cross from Rideout was unreal.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. That day, he honestly just made them look amateur.
And there was that lone Evertonian in the cop, wasn't there?
Yeah. You see it on the video. You see him jumping up and down. That was when you like, and he looked like a steward or something. He's probably blagged his way in somehow. But what a time it was to have him, because I used to think we could do anything when he played. And then it was really, really sad when he left because he started playing shite.
Yeah.
And then I remember the time he gave the ball away to Chris Waddle.
Bradford won it in the cup.
Bradford, and he scored a ridiculous chip.
Yeah.
And then that was it. I think that might have been his last game. And then he went to did he go to Fiorentina, yeah. And that was it.
Laura's been really generous here, not going, don't know, I wasn't born.
Sorry, I was talking to Keith about curling in Scotland. I texted him and was like, is curling a big hobby in Scotland? And he was like, probably not.
Oh.
Fair enough.
So Keith speaks for whole of Scotland.
He's killed that dream, hasn't he?
Do you reckon he just puts it on, the accent?
But Keith's not.
Maybe he's not Scottish.
Is he? No.
Probably from your neck of the woods, Les.
Well, he is.
Our neck of the woods.
He is an oblonga. Foxy's asked, some talk of replacing Z cars. More wild shouts on Twitter.
Oh, yeah. More than on Twitter. A couple of clowns were saying that.
What should be the new walkout tune for the Mighty Toffees? Sam?
Circus music.
Yeah. I think it's the only way, isn't it? That or the Muppets theme.
Yeah.
The Muppets theme would be outstanding.
Karma Chameleon for me. I just want something really camp.
Nice.
Really, really camp. Do you know, have you seen Dodgeball, the film?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you said it, yeah.
And Average Joe's come out with the wrong kit that they got. And it was full of like dominatrix gear and all that. I'd love our team to do that to Karma Chameleon. I would love that.
Come on,
I'm not saying I'd be turned on by it. I just love it.
Dave, whatever you're into, this seems like a sort of weird.
Ken Wright and Macheri come out.
But you know, Davis and Calvert-Lewin would look beautiful. Like they would really rock that.
You imagine the heads of the Everton Dars, they would
amazing.
No, I'd love to see it for some reason. And I keep on thinking of this since he changed his hair like last year, is Pickford. I think I'd love to see Pickford in leather.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not saying it in like it
is the title. Pickford in leather.
Dave, oh my God.
We're not a kink shaming podcast.
We're not, but you know.
I don't want to see Pickford in leather.
All leather though, everything's leather.
I think I'd quite, yeah, it'll be all right.
I can't imagine it. Like, even though he's got that, he's got that sort of fire to him. I can't imagine him. It's a bit too volatile to be a dom. For me,
what was that
forget the safe word. He'd 100% forget the safe word.
Exactly, yeah.
What was that song? And I think it was just like a one-off good song that got like to number 5 in the charts. How do you know that I keep starting fires?
Oh yeah.
What's
it? Electric 5.
Yeah, us coming out to that song in leather kits. I think that'd be great.
Amen.
I'd love to see that.
Glow up crotch area as well. I went to see them in Manchester, and quite a few people in the crowd had made their own glow up crotch things.
Wow.
Which is quite funny.
Were you one of them, Les? Yeah.
I wasn't, unfortunately, no.
Disappointing.
I wish I had it on though.
Les with one of those maroon thongs, leather thongs that they use in the Full Monty.
Maroon's very specific there, Dave.
No, I'm a bit of a sicko, aren't I?
I used to live just outside of the gay village, and it was always amazing when there was like a rubber or a leather weekend, because just routinely everyone was walking down the shops in the in dom suits. It's beautiful.
In Liverpool, we've got like the sort of the Everley Street bit around there, but Manchester's a proper gay village. It's next level. It's exactly what it should be.
Yeah.
I remember went there when I was like 18, so I've been to like Garlands and stuff like that, and nothing prepared me for Canal Street. It was like a proper like, oh my God, yeah, this is really gay.
Yeah, really gay.
This is the Blue Room end of season night out right now.
Do it.
That's going. Everyone's welcome.
All in.
There'd be different weekenders like every weekend when say when I lived just on the boundary of it. So one week it'd be bodybuilders, then it'd be skinheads, then it'd be bears, then it'd be like Sparkle, the trans celebration and stuff. So yeah, it was just really good. I really miss it because it was just amazing seeing like these different subcultures just descend on your area completely.
Unreal.
Some more random stuff to finish then now. Liam said, seeing as Blue Monday is coming up, what's everyone's favourite New Order song? You might not have one. You might think. His is Your Silent Face. Sam?
Touched by the Hand of God.
Good shout. What did I say mine was? Age of Consent. I think.
Age of Consent. Banger.
Great bass line, that.
Yeah.
Wonderful way to start an album. Laura, Dave, have you got one?
No, I'm going to pass. I have no idea. New Order. New Order did the England song, didn't he?
He did.
Wild Emotion, yeah.
Oh, I like that, yeah. I love that one.
I just hate that John Barnes rap and the fact that he does it every time he's anywhere.
Like his little party piece now, isn't it?
Oh, it's so annoying.
Yeah, probably would
You
be.
must have made a few quid off that, him.
God, yeah. Alex has asked, how do you think the Earth / humanity will eventually end? Comedic Everton-related answers are also acceptable.
Ooh.
I was thinking Everton win a derby in controversial circumstances, and it causes a rip in the space-time continuum. I reckon.
I was going to go with Managerial trying to recruit extraterrestrial life, and it happens to be hell-bent on our own destruction.
I think we are actually in the Truman Show and someone finds the way out.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've said that for many years, that my life lives like the Truman Show.
100%, because we are a social experiment.
Well, exactly right. Ed Harris is sitting off on the moon there, watching us all play it out. Yeah, I think there's a lot of stuff that's happening with NASA right now. They've invented something, haven't they, that if Armageddon was actually happening and there was a meteor coming towards Earth, that they're able to go up there and bomb it, and then it'll be fine. I reckon we might see that happen. They tried to do it, but they did the Bruce Willis type of thing, but it didn't actually work, and the meteor did hit us, and we all went out just as we've won the league.
Yeah,
but I reckon
that's when it would happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's about 30 seconds left of the final whistle on the last day of the season, and we've just pipped the Reds to the title. Yeah, that could.
Yeah.
It's going to be.
Can't even hug each other. Can't celebrate.
But at least
the final whistle doesn't even go.
Yeah.
Devastating.
The right answer, though, to how humanity's got to end is those fucking robot dogs.
What?
That's what's going to kill us.
They are creepy, then.
Those robot dogs.
I'm thinking I'm watching Wallace and Gromit here when they had a dog like that.
It's much worse.
Mm-hmm.
They've put guns on them now and everything, haven't they?
What are you talking about here?
That's
I mean,
irresponsible.
The Boston Dynamic stuff. They've made these robot dogs that are dead creepy, and they look really sinister the way they walk around.
And they move really weirdly, don't they? Like
it's horrible. But those,
I'm not having this. You're just off your head. Take the piss out.
Look it up, Boston Dynamics, and they've got like sort of robot humanoid things.
We're not, Dave. We're not in some kind of conspiracy to wind you up here.
There is. It's because you hate salad cream that much. You started coming out with this shit.
Look it up. Oh my god, maybe that would be the way we defeat them. Just squirt salad cream on them, short circuit them.
So I'm putting on Google metal dogs.
Robot dogs.
Robot
dogs.
Boston Dynamics robot dogs.
That's definitely.
While you do that, Laura, one from you. Ever seen anything more Jesse Marsh than Jesse Marsh putting out on a social post to tell people he's on LinkedIn?
Oh my god!
That's what he's done.
He is. You know, when you go on LinkedIn and you've got all these all the bullshit on LinkedIn, and it just winds me up. You know, like that. Is it Stephen Bartlett? That fella. He just chats utter nonsense on.
The Dragon's Den. Can't stand him. Can't stand that.
Just loads of grind set bollocks.
Jesse Marsh is 100% one of those people, and it's always going to be some kind of inspirational quote because he is literally Ted Lasso. Oh my god, did you see that footballer that's going on Love Island? Like, we are literally living in like real life Ted Lasso right now.
Oh, Macclesfield FC, that lad, yeah.
Yeah, what the fuck is that about? That's the point I would get off with Everton. If some fucker at Everton decided to go on Love Island, that'd be it.
Oh, they're too famous anyway.
Yeah.
At the moment.
Who do you reckon would?
Oh,
Pickford in leather.
no, wouldn't Mason Holgate?
Yeah, he
Oh,
definitely would.
Mason
He
Holgate.
definitely would.
Sorry, I've just created a completely different like avenue here, haven't I? Of like questions. But he's definitely got motivational quotes all over his LinkedIn. That Jesse Marsh.
Oh God, yeah, he'd be taking pictures of his watch on a piece of steak before you know
Yeah.
In front of a steering wheel.
it.
Yeah.
All that caper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love sportsmen on LinkedIn though. Like, I'm pretty sure I've got Kevin Kilban on LinkedIn.
Yeah,
just
I've got
I saw him and decided I'd try it.
I've got
Isn't he living over in the States
Darren
now?
Gibson on LinkedIn for some reason.
Oh, Darren Gibson's
Darren
is really
Gibson.
tragic as well, isn't it? Because, like, just occasionally he has to update it to, seeking new club.
It's a massive cry for help.
Yeah.
I think that'll be, seeking new club will be on all of our LinkedIn at some point.
I think the first time I came on here, it was just after Monty Panesar had just like issued a come and get me plea to literally anyone via LinkedIn. It just put a LinkedIn profile with seeking cricketing opportunities at the top of it.
Yeah, I remember.
Mate, what a cat he is, by the way.
Do you think Everton could do that? Seeking new ownership.
Seeking investment opportunities.
Oh yeah, you're right though about Jesse Marsh, because when we played them, we got the 1-1 draw, didn't we, earlier this season? I was watching, I was thinking, why have they bothered getting this fella in here? Because it's even more American than America is, isn't he? It's
so American.
Oh mate, yeah, it's like I was watching. Funnily enough, he was on Sky Sports News earlier today, doing his presser. And like even then, he's what you guys were saying then, going through his motivational things that he says. And who's their captain? Cooper, his name is, isn't it? And he sat next to him, and I'm thinking, that fella can't be sitting there with his head, or what's going through his head right now, while this fella's coming out with all sorts of like shite that comes out with like Elon Musk and all that shit he's coming out with. I'm like, how's he going to say? And by the way, they drew 2-2, didn't he, with Cardiff in the FA Cup last week? Seen some fella, I don't even know why it was on my Twitter. Seen some fella saying, someone get rid of this American bellend. And I couldn't stop laughing at it. It was that simple.
Two words on Jesse Marsh: touchline denim.
What? Oh yeah, he does, doesn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
He does. And it's tragic. Oh God.
Have you seen the way he celebrates when he score?
That's awful.
Like a proper Yankee.
But he goes mad when the chips are down. He goes mental, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Like it's not when he's furious, he loses his mind.
He's very.
I'm just getting really worried here now, because we do have a lot of American listeners here, so there's no insult to you guys whatsoever.
Yeah, I'm not jumping on the American hate here, guys. Just
we'll swiftly move on to Maggie's question, because this won't cause any hassle. Who's got the best dog, Laura or Keith? The dog must be delivered to Maggie on Sunday. We don't have to answer that. We can move on to the final one from Maggie.
Entirely depends on the situation.
It's the HP sort of dogs.
Yeah.
I know.
This is it.
Les, you're a tit for asking this, you know.
I know.
I'm gonna be level with my answer, because right, Les, you've met both Max and Sky anyway. Like, Sky is obviously a rescue dog born on the streets, and obviously she's not without her issues, and she's quite nervous and she's quite anxious, and like her mum, she hates men. So like what an absolute queen she is. But Max is the happiest dog you'll ever meet, and he just loves everyone. Like, he's a massive slag.
He just loves banging his toys.
But he has a shag panda. Like, that panda has seen some things. Like, the poor thing is just laid out on Keith's living room floor. Like,
Keith have one as well.
And yeah, I mean, Max is the happiest dog ever, but it's the hair. Like, we went on a walk last weekend with the two of them, and obviously he's very blonde, very hairy, and he was just covered in just muck and dirt. And I was like, yeah, just not jealous of you having to bath that dog later, because Sky's dead easy.
I'll give it the sit on the fence answer that both dogs are both equally as good on their own merits, and that means that Maggie doesn't get the losing dog.
She can have
She was only in it to get a dog. She don't get one.
She can
So,
have a holder.
Final question, very pantomime / park end-esque. Who can boo the longest?
I genuinely read that wrong the other day. Genuinely.
Who the longest?
Yeah.
So I'm going to time it. If everyone just wants to boo until the close of the podcast.
Salad cream would help you poo.
We'll just see you last longer. Yeah? Ready?
Salad cream.
Ready? Booing Dave. Booing with a B. Like boo ends. Okay.
I can't because I've lost it. I've lost it here.
Yeah, but you lot boo salad cream. That's what's not good.
Mate, I'm a park ender. If I don't win this, I'm gonna have to like revoke my season ticket.
I have problems with my chest, so I'm gonna blame that if I lose.
Are we
Yeah, my vote booked. Go on.
After three.
After three, so on three or after three?
Boo.
Fuck off, Bill. Boo.
I lost when Dave shouted "fuck off, Bill." I couldn't. I lost it.
I think Les had plenty left in the tank there.
I did 14 seconds. I could have gone on longer. Actually, Zoom just asked me if I was playing music.
Hang on.
That must have been quite soulful what we were doing.
Les, you must have a massive advantage, by the way, because you coach a youth team, don't you, young lads?
Yeah.
You must spend days shouting at those little shits at times. So your voice and your lungs must be ready for a good boo.
They're all
plus
wonderful lads.
The park end.
To be fair, they are all lovely lads, aren't they?
They are all wonderful lads. A lot of them will be on in the Denby after the Southampton game.
Oh yeah, they can all drink now, can't they?
Yeah.
Little shit.
Right, that's it for this week's mailbag. It was, as ever, an absolute pleasure. Thanks to Dave. Thanks, Laura. Thanks, Sam. Thanks to everyone who sent questions in. We'll catch you next time on Mailbag.